Howdy folks, Grebner here. And even though I'm probably one of the biggest hillbillies you'll ever meet, I do pride myself on the fact that I'm fairly well educated. And one of the most important college classes that I actually took in my law enforcement program was mythology. And it sounds kind of silly. Why would mythology be helpful? Well, because people don't change. Times change. And we tell the same kind of stories that people did in ancient times. And we read to know that we're not alone. We tell stories to know that we're not alone. And certain archetypes have developed that are in every culture. The hero, the villain, the false hero, the villain's agent. All of these. And so that is why this video is understanding the warrior through Homer's Iliad. The Iliad is about the Trojan War, but it's about much more than just the Trojan War. It's full of amazing characterization and human nature that I don't think could have been written today. It's just so simplistically beautiful. That's the only way that I can describe it. But a lot of people don't like the Odyssey or the Iliad because they're epic poems. They're long. They're meant to be spoken and listened to, not read. These poems outdate the written word. And so that's why people don't like reading them. And I say, well, fine, don't read it. Listen to it. Which is why I recommend to all of you that if you have iTunes, that you get the Iliad unabridged, narrated by Stanley Lombardo. Because his, in my opinion, is the best translation. And also, another thing that I particularly like about the Stanley Lombardo translation is they say bitch, they say whore, and they say shit in this translation. And it translates into modern language. And it just really brings it home. Now, I'm not saying that cursing is a good thing, but to hear a Greek god say, back off, bitch, or something like that, that's the gist of it. And it just really translates into modern times very well. And so, times change, people don't, and we tell the same stories. And there are a lot of very heroic characters in the Iliad, and there's a lot of not so heroic characters in the Iliad. For instance, Agamemnon. He is an egotistical douchebag. Paris. Paris is the guy that went to Sparta, stole Helen away from Menelaus, and then shagged her brains out while his brother Hector was fighting the war. Paris is a douchebag, but he ends up killing Achilles with the help of Apollo. But that's not actually in the Iliad. That's in the story of the Trojan horse. But Agamemnon and Paris are two sissified characters, but they represent cowardice. Leaders that actually don't know how to lead. And then you have Achilles, who Agamemnon actually steals Achilles' girl. He steals his war prize because Agamemnon had to give his girl back. And then Achilles leaves the war. Now Achilles knows that he's going to die in Troy. He knows. And it's kind of up in the air on whether he leaves the war because he's been dishonored or whether he's afraid of his own fate. And so Achilles I kind of struggle with. I don't know if I like him as much as a lot of people think you ought to like Achilles. One character who is actually the enemy that I do like is Hector. I like Hector in the Iliad because Hector is a leader. Hector does what he's told. He does not rest until he takes care of his men. unlike Paris, who is always up in his bedchamber shagging Helen. But Hector, even though he is the enemy, is a very heroic character. And there is a huge warrior's code in the Iliad on, I may kill my enemy, but I will respect him as a warrior, and I will not dishonor his body, and I will honor the memory of the man that I've killed, is the gist of a lot of the parts in the Iliad. Then there is a Greek by the name of Ajax, who is a giant of a man, and he's just awesome. He's strong, and he's just your run-of-the-mill grunt soldier that don't like being there, but he's doing his job. And he's a very heroic character. And there's also Diomedes, who is very intelligent, almost as intelligent as Odysseus, but Diomedes is a bit cowardly in the beginning, and he finds himself, and it's a building's Roman. And so I like Diomedes and I like Ajax. And for you guys that like Force Recon, guess what? There is a Black Ops mission in the Iliad where Odysseus and Diomedes sneak into a Trojan camp. Yeah, ancient special ops, ancient Black Ops. How cool is that? And so I highly recommend any of you guys that want to understand a warrior, and I'm not even going to call myself a warrior. I'm not. But any of you guys that want to understand the warrior, I highly recommend that you either read or listen to the Iliad, because it will speak to your heart, and you will understand that a soldier or a sheepdog or anything, nothing has changed. We are still the same people that we were in the time of Homer. Technology has changed and times have changed, but there are still heroes and cowards and cowardly heroes. And so please check out the Iliad and get educated. As always, God bless all my Ted Nugent blood brothers. Join the NRA to protect our rights. Thank you very much to those of you involved in law enforcement and those of you serving in the military. And thank you to all of my subscribers for all of your support. In addition to providing you guys with tactical reviews and hunting, I also feel that it's my mission to expose you guys to fine literature. So check out the Iliad, the Stanley Lombardo version on iTunes. Thanks for watching.